We're in Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's right there. Why is Bowling Green important? Well, it's the home, historic home, of Duncan Hines. Yeah, the cake guy. You think that's all he was? Well, let me tell you something. In the 1930s and 40s, if you owned a restaurant, you wanted one of these recommended by Duncan Hines signs outside your place. This is the most influential and important sign in the restaurant industry in America. By the way, this isn't really his house. That was the caretaker's house. Duncan Hines' house is right here. Well, actually, if you look at the little cupola thing up on top, that's where the original house was. It was really small. This was added on after he died in '59. It's a funeral home. But they did keep the old guy's kitchens. Come on. By the time 1940 rolled around, Mr. Duncan Hines was retiring from being a salesman, a traveling salesman. He'd been doing it for about 30 years. And one of his hobbies on the road was that he kind of collected restaurants. You have to remember, back in the 1930s and 40s, almost every restaurant in America was a mom-and-pop restaurant, okay? So when you drove up, you never knew what you were gonna get. Would it be clean? Would it be dirty? Would the food be good? Would the waitress be mean? No one knew. And so what Duncan Hines liked to do is he would go and he would investigate these restaurants, and he was a real stickler for cleanliness. He'd gotten that from his grandmother. So anyway, he started collecting these kind of little write-ups that he would do of how clean a place was and how good the service was. He was also very big on local ingredients and very simple cooking. And these lists became amazingly popular, and people started writing them letters requesting the list. And so eventually he decided to do even more and to publish a book. And that book became Adventures in Good Eating, which absolutely, positively was the most influential food book of its generation, and really the first guidebook for American food. Duncan Hines never took money from the people that were listed herein. Okay, you couldn't buy your way into this. Eventually, he and a partner started a food company that did things like cake mixes, and of course cake mixes still bear his name today in American grocery stores. But that's where he held court, and even though he became this gigantic food guy, he never left Bowling Green, lived in this very, very small house, and pretty much ran the food world, at least here in America. And the influences of his tastes are very much felt today, especially our emphasis on cleanliness and on kind of reliable, friendly service. So if you've eaten in an American restaurant, especially a roadside restaurant, you've probably got Duncan Hines to thank. I don't want to leave Bowling Green without paying Hines proper respect. Luckily, the folks at the funeral home know exactly where to find him. I don't know what to say.
I smell pork.
Well, no, I don't think that's really very appropriate, Jean-Claude.
I really smell pork.
You good? Hey, I do too. Bye, Duncan. We got a ride. Come on, guys, let's find that pork. Leaving the patron saint of road food to his rest, we chase the porcine vapors. When we come back, a very different kind of cue. Mere blocks from the home of Hines, we were stopped by a puff of smoke and a vision of a giant pink pig on a telephone pole. I love the smell of hickory in the morning. It smells like barbecue. And not just any barbecue, but Monroe County-style barbecue, which I soon learned begins by slicing a pork butt wafer thin on a bandsaw. Freezing the meat first makes this easier, of course. A bed of hickory coals is spread, and the steaks are grilled over direct heat and occasionally mopped with a vinegar-based paste.
So it's completely different from what you would think of as standard Southern barbecue, because you still got a good bit of connective tissue. There's a good bit of chewiness, but it hasn't cooked that long. So basically what they've got going on here, which is very interesting, is they're making very, very thin pork steaks, is essentially what they're doing, but because there's so much surface area and so little mass, there's a lot of smokiness going on.
It should be noted that Monroe County is only 2 counties away from the Smokey Pig. I turned to the owner, Phil, for explanation.
Monroe County style?
That's it.
What exactly is Monroe County style? What does that mean?
Well, that means it's sliced shoulder, sliced thin, cooked on a rack over hot hickory coals and basted with my own homemade vinegar-based spicy sauce.
Always vinegar. Okay,
Yeah.
so what makes Monroe County so special?
Because that's where it originated. Back when there were slaves and stuff, and the slaves got all the poor cuts, you know, and they didn't get the hams, they got shoulders, you know.
Right.
And they made this sauce and sliced the shoulder thin and cooked it like that, and everybody really liked it. And
How long have you been making it?
since 99, since March of 99.
What made you start doing this?
Well, I got tired of driving back and forth to Monroe County to get it.
What's the worst part of having your own place?
Taxes.
Dang, that's good cute. That's right!
Paid our respects to dear Mr. Duncan Hines and thanked him for all he did for us, and also had some darn fine Monroe County style barbecue, although no burgoo. Forgot to even ask about the burgoo, although we still got plenty of Kentucky to go. We're actually heading though to Indiana, Evansville, where there is I believe a very interesting bus station, and that's on a road, you know.
The further I ride, the more I think about barbecue. The more I think about barbecue, the more I start thinking that it's one of our most important road food traditions. The reason that it remains vital, besides the fact that it's good, is that it cannot be tamed. It can't be gotten out of a can, it can't be frozen ahead. Barbecue doesn't negotiate, and it suffers fools badly. Barbecue requires time, smoke, and above all, skill, which is why attempts to corporatize it ultimately fail.